Hello, my name's Cliff Parry, and I'm speaking to you from Athens in Greece. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Well, what I want to talk to you today about, very briefly, is motivation. And to start our talk, what I'd like to do is share a story with you. So you can see on the screen in front of you now a runner. And what I'd like you to do is, well, can you guess who it is? Obviously, from times past. Who is this? Well, it's Eric Liddell. Eric Liddell won the 400 meters gold at the Paris 1924 Summer Games. He was the first athlete to treat the 400 meters as a complete sprint, and that's why he won it. He changed the technique. He set history. He made history. He refused to compete in the 4x400 meters relay because, I wonder why he refused. And after the games, he went to northern China to do what? So here's a little bit of information about Eric Liddell. We know that he won the 400 meters gold because, in a sense, he changed the whole approach to the race. But he refused to compete in the railway, and he went to northern China. Why? Well, let's see if we can answer some of the questions. Well, he refused to compete in the 4x400 meters railway because it was held on a Sunday, and he was a devout Christian, and he didn't want to compete on the Sunday, the holy day. And after the games, he went to northern China, where he became a missionary. So a very complex man. Were his motivations the same? Probably not. To win the gold, his motivation was probably achievement. He wanted to do well. To refuse to compete in the 4x400 meters, his motivation was probably conformity. He didn't want to break the rules, or his rules, or the rules of a certain group. And after the games, he went to northern China, where he became a missionary. His motivation there, social, a very pro-social motivation, a very kind motivation, benevolence. So what we can see here are three different kinds of motivation: achievement, conformity, pro-social, and benevolence. Let's look at the kinds of motivation that we might have when working with young people, or should we say that young people might have. I've got 6 of them. Conformity. Young people want to belong to a group. They want to feel safe. So make sure that you build up the group identity. Make sure that they feel safe amongst each other. Okay, a group is a group of individuals, but the group itself has a name, has an identity, has a feeling. Build up that family. That's a motivational type for young people. Pro-social. Well, the natural inclination of a human being is to be kind, to be helpful, to take on responsibilities. So within the group, provide opportunities for people to help one another, to learn from one another, to help you, to learn from you. And you make sure that you learn from them. Of course, enjoyment is a great motivation. So get them to reflect at the end of the day on what they really enjoyed and how it could be better next time. Get them to compare their enjoyments. What people enjoyed the same thing? Is joy and happiness shared? That strengthens the team, that strengthens the group. Get them to reflect on enjoyment. Make them laugh. Bring a joke, bring a facial expression, bring a smile. That makes things enjoyable. Another motivation is self-reflection. Okay, you've got the roadmap, but encourage each individual to set his or her own goals independently. What do you want to do better at the end of today's session? What do you want to do better at the end of the month? Where do you want to be at the end of the year? Short-term goals, medium terms, and long goals. Encourage the people to set their own goals within your roadmap. Security. Help people feel that they belong. Help people feel that they're not going to be surprised. In other words, set out the roadmap of your session before you deliver it. Today, we're going to do this and then that, and allow for negotiation. Bringing order, bringing harmony, encourages people to feel secure with you, okay? And that's an important motivation, the motivation of security. And finally, power. Remember that young people are, in fact, essentially adults to be, young adults, okay? They're aspiring leaders. They want their achievements to be recognized. They want to contribute to the whole. They're no longer school children. So when you're working with young people, and I'm talking essentially about teenagers, treat them as young adults with a full set of rights and responsibilities. So how do you motivate young people? Well, in many, many different ways. And what I would suggest you do, is in your next session with young people, record your session if you can on an audio device, and then listen back. Did you provide an opportunity for benevolence? Did you provide an opportunity for enjoyment? Listen to the different kinds of motivations that you've included in your session. And maybe if some are missing, you can build them in the future. Okay, well, thank you very, very much. That's the end of my session today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Polychronidis and I'm a Paralympian in the sport boccia, which is a Paralympic sport, and I'm an athlete from Greece. And well, actually my story begins before Athens 2004 Paralympic Games. I was 20 years old and I learned about boccia, which is a sport for severe disabilities. And I was very excited because I learned that if I tried a lot, I would have the chance to compete in Athens 2004 Paralympic Games, which would be held in my home city. So it was a great motivation for me to do my best in order to compete in the Paralympic Games that would happen in the city that I live. And you can imagine how fantastic this is for someone. So I gave my best, and to be honest, I didn't have a lot of competitions before the Paralympic Games, and I qualified as the athlete of the host country. So it was very challenging for me because in 2003 in the World Cup I had finished 37th, and I was very anxious about how would I manage to have a good competition in Athens. And I gave my best, and finally I managed from the 37th place that I had in 2003 to finish 6th in Athens Paralympics. My great goal was to qualify to the quarterfinals, and I managed it. And it was really fantastic, and it was like a very good start for me. And I understood that if I tried even more, I could accomplish great results. So next year I finished my studies, and I had the time to do the even better training. So in 2006 I managed to win the silver medal. It was my first medal in the World Championships, and then I knew that I was doing great and that I had to keep going. So my next Paralympic Games was in Beijing in 2008, where I managed to not only to qualify, but I qualified as first in the world ranking list. So it was something fantastic that I had managed in a 4-year period to qualify as first. And I managed to win silver medal in the Paralympic Games, and it was my first Paralympic medal, and it also showed that my path was going even better. And definitely that helped me a lot to give even more effort. And definitely you will ask, how much more could you give? And it's not that you can give more time, because I already gave a lot of time to my trainings, and almost all my daily schedule was built in the training schedule. But when you compete, your experience is becoming even better. So the quantity time that you have can become with a better quality. So you can train even better and achieve better results. And finally that happened in London 2012 Paralympic Games, where I managed to win my gold Paralympic medal, and it was like reaching the top. It was something fantastic, and definitely it was my best performance, and the best medal that an athlete can win. So that was something that completed all the efforts that I had. And now my next challenge was to do my best again and stay at the top. And sometimes it's even more difficult to stay at the top than just reach the top and then go down. So I continued to give the best that I could in all the trainings and all the competitions that I had. And in 2016 Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, I managed to win 2 medals, a silver one and a bronze one. And it was again something really fantastic, because in my sport we have a lot of competitors, and everyone is trying to reach the top. So it's very challenging to stay there, to manage to innovate every time, so you can have tactics and a new strategy in order to be one of the best. And this is something that is really difficult, and I feel proud that I managed to do it. And also Rio Paralympic Games was something that I will never forget, because as a gold Paralympian from London 2012 Paralympic Games, I was the flag bearer in Rio de Janeiro in 2016, and it was the most honorable moment for me to carry the flag of my country in the Maracana Stadium, the most historical stadium, and this is a memory that I will never forget. And after that, in the next years, I won the gold medal in the World Championships in 2018, and the gold medal in the European Championships in 2019. And then, unfortunately for the whole humanity, we had the pandemic, and it was also a very challenging time, because all athletes had to stay away from their venues, their trainings, their everyday schedule. And to be honest, I was very anxious about Tokyo Paralympic Games, because as you all know, they were postponed in 2020, so we were not sure what would happen in 2021, and I had to keep training, because here in Greece we had an exception that the athletes that were preparing for the Olympics and the Paralympics, we could train even during the lockdown, but psychologically it was very difficult to give your best in the training when you didn't even know if the games would happen. So it was very tough, and I was away from the venue, so it was not easy to know at what level you are at the moment. So Tokyo Games, after 2 years with no competitions, was a very difficult challenge, but thankfully it all went great, and I managed to return from Tokyo with 2 more Paralympic medals, a silver one and a bronze, and now I have 6 Paralympic medals, and I just feel very proud, and I know that all these years of efforts have paid off with the best results, and I really always want to share my story in order to inspire people and tell them that if you really want something, and that if you really try very hard to accomplish it, you can always make your dreams come true. And this is what I wish for you, and I would definitely tell you that do what you love, and do it in the best way, and if you believe and try hard, you will definitely accomplish your dreams. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Goodbye.